Good morning. I've had a few people ask me to get back on Facebook and share some more of my Godwink stories. And I must admit, it's not an easy thing to do. It's out of my comfort zone. But, if just one person is blessed, then it will be worth it. So I'm going to share my latest Godwink, or at least one of them, with you. And this one is about a little 61 Thunderbird vintage camper. Actually, we were looking for a camper for a friend of ours who wanted one a little bit larger than what she had, but not too large. So Tom showed me an Airstream for this friend, and when I looked at it, I said, I really think that's larger than this person wants. So I started to hand him back the phone, and I this little 61 camper popped up, and I said, Tom, look at this one. So we looked at it, and it was just absolutely adorable. It was 61. It had been restored, and it would be perfect for the camper to have as a little guest quarters behind our cabin. So I called the lady who was selling it, and I asked her if it was still available, and she said, well, she had somebody come in to look at it that afternoon, earlier on that afternoon, and I said, well, can we be second in line? And she said, of course. So I told her, I said, well, we're in North Carolina, so we'll need to know at least by this afternoon late if we can go and get it, because we'll drive. It takes 5 hours to get there. So would you let us know this afternoon? So she said she would. So I think actually I called her back, and she said, well, the man hasn't come. And she said, well, just come on. I said, well, now if we're going to drive that far, will you guarantee that you'll at least let us have the chance to buy it? And she said, of course. So we took off that afternoon, and we headed to the cabin to look at this camper. Well, the next morning when we saw it, of course, we fell in love with it. It's perfect for the camper, for the cabin, rather. And so we purchased it and brought it back to the cabin. Well, later on that night, we always name our campers, and they're always named something special, and they have to just fit the camper. It's just the way vintage campers are. They've got to be named, and they're kind of special little vintage campers for us anyway. And, God has used vintage campers many, many times to give me God winks. So this one was very special as well. So I kind of went to bed thinking, wonder what we're going to name this camper. What will fit? It's a little Thunderbird, and wonder what I should name it. So I got to thinking about Birdie. And I kind of went to bed with that thought in mind, and I didn't say that to Tom. But the next morning, I said, Tom, what do you think we should name this camper? And he said, why don't we call it Birdie? He said, then you can put all the feathers in there you want. You love feathers, and this is a bird, Thunderbird. So I said, Tom, I can't believe you just said Birdie, because that's exactly what I was thinking about last night and early this morning. So we said, we'll name it Birdie. And Birdie, Birdie, was the name of my children's grandmother. I said, this will be perfect. It will be named after my children's grandmother, Birdie Mae Brinkley. So Birdie, it was named. So later on that afternoon, still in the mountains, we were messing around looking at some thrift stores, and actually missed one and turned around and went back to check this one out. And when I walked in, I was actually looking for some things for the little camper, and I found two bird plaques. One was a teal and one was a kind of a rusty red, and the colors were perfect for Birdie. So I purchased them, and when I went to pay for them, I was telling the lady all about the camper and why I named it Birdie, and it was after my mother-in-law, Birdie, and she got this really amazing look on her face. She said, you're not going to believe this, but my mother's name is Birdie Mae. And she said she's gone all of her life thinking she was the only Birdie Mae in the world. And then I told her about my mother-in-law, Birdie Mae, spelled with Birdie. So that was just a God moment for us, and we just realized that God was in it, and we were supposed to be there at that time. And we just hugged one another and had a moment there. And then about that time, one of her friends came in and was telling her that she just found out that her sister-in-law had just been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She was pretty distraught. And she said, I really needed this morning. So we were there to give her encouragement and to give her a hug and to pray with her. And of course, we took pictures and knew that it was just a God-appointed time. So thank you for listening to my short story this morning about little Birdie. And There are two Birdie Mays. Actually, one is gone. Her mother's still living. But you know, her legacy lives on in this little camper. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen this morning. And I just wanted to encourage you that if you don't have God winks in your life, then I want to ask you why not? Because God is so willing to come and share his life with you. After all, that's why he died, so that he could come and live with you and live inside of you and be right there with you at every moment of your life. And so if you don't have a personal relationship with Jesus, you're really missing the great peace and hope and joy that he comes to bring. And without preaching a whole lot to you, I just wanted you to be encouraged to try Jesus, because I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. And I hope that this is the year of restoration, of turnaround. It's the year of joy, and I'm calling it a year of restoration, because what Satan has taken from me and my family, I'm getting it back in the powerful name of Jesus. He doesn't have authority over us and our family. So sorry I got off on that, but I just wanted to encourage you to let Jesus be the ruler of your life, because he will not disappoint you. And I hope you have a very blessed and happy New Year, and Happy New Year. Thank you for listening. Bye now.